mind frame. Don't sweat. Don't start sweating. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to start off this documenting the debut series and just kind of let you know who I am, what the hell am I doing, and yeah, just kind of where my goals are at throughout these next few months, next 6 months or so leading up to my show. So yeah, my name's Alicia McMullen, 25 years old, I'm in Kitchener, Ontario. This is my journey to hitting the figure stage and seeing where I can go with bodybuilding. Basically, the purpose of this series is just kind of walk through my experience over these next 6 months. I think things are gonna get weird and hectic and stressful, and it's not gonna be easy. You know, I grew up watching Christian Guzman and Nikki Blackheader and Chris Bumstead and all of those YouTube popular bodybuilders in their journeys, and you know, it's really interesting to see them going through bulks and just regular off season all the way to, you know, hitting the stage and being super lean and talking about their struggles. You know, it's not going to be easy, but I'm excited to see where we go with this. And yeah, just kind of, I guess mostly this is for myself-ish, but also if people start kind of trickling in along the way, that would be sick. So yeah, about me, who am I? My backstory. Was always really active. I grew up swimming, I did dance, I did rugby in high school. That was really short-lived. I wasn't, you know, the best at it. But mainly, you know, I figure skated for years, like 11 or 12 years, like from the time I was like 3 or 4 years old, all the way up until like mid-high school, I think is when I finally said I had enough. Peaked really young, but it gets to a point where you're battling it out with other girls and even their moms, and it turns political and it's catty. So I called it quits after a while. And at that point, I think I was just kind of stuck. And I was like halfway through high school. I just didn't really know what to do with myself physically. I think I got a little lazy, maybe a little sad, because I didn't have regular activity anymore. And around that time, you know, no one's mental health is really good in high school, so I think I was dealing with a bit of anxiety, like social anxiety. Like I felt a lot of stress just around school and people in general, and I turned to controlling food as a way to kind of deal with that. I think I had a lot of like anxiety and anger too towards my parents, and I felt very restricted in everyday life. I kind of turned to restricting food as a way to feel power over my life and feel good about myself. I grew up being the chubby kid family. I got comments from family friends. I love to eat. I would eat so much, and I think, you know, we grew up really healthy, eat really well, really healthy foods, and then, you know, you'd go to a sleepover or you'd go to a Christmas party and there's just food everywhere, and then I would just turn into, I wouldn't say binging, like I was a kid, but you know, you can't control yourself. So it was just like so much eating, and people would make comments that sits with you. Like you almost get scared to like eat in front of people, like you feel shame in enjoying foods. So here I am walking through like my past and be like, oh, that's why. So yeah, by high school, like I'm not surprised, like it kind of came through into a full-blown eating disorder. At that point, like I was old enough to, I think I was like 16 when all this was really happening, so I was old enough to have a gym membership. I was going to the local gym down the street. So by that point I was, you know, really embracing the gym through my eating disorder, and in not a healthy way. It was a form of, you know, punishment, keeping me on check. I did some outpatient like counseling, family counseling. It was tough, but we made through it. And then from that point forward, I think I took a break from the gym because I just didn't trust myself to, and my family didn't trust me to really, you know, exercise in a way that's not harmful. So I took a break for a while, but near the end of high school, I got back into it. I think I was going like maybe once or twice a week. Going into like university, I kind of fell off the gym for a bit in first year. I think I was intimidated. That's when I lost my confidence. It was no longer, you know, like the putsy old people at your local community center. Now it was, you know, 20-something-year-old dudes all jacked up, and I felt like a total amateur fish out of water, and I just didn't want to go anywhere near the weight room at all. I would stick with like cardio. Didn't love my body at the time. Like, I was eating like shit. I think I was a vegetarian. Why? I don't know. So I was eating like super high carb, really unbalanced. I think I would have like a slice of banana bread like every single day at breakfast. You know, nothing's healthy at that point. And then by like, I don't know, third year university, that's when I started to really get it. I was like watching more YouTube and reading up on things more and just really figuring out what I needed to do in the gym. And that's when I started to put a split together, and it wasn't just like this aimless, like just go in and do all the body parts in one day. I was like really methodical in what I was doing, and that's when I started to see some real changes, and that was super rewarding. So I think I definitely started out with more of like a bodybuilding style of training, like high rep ranges, not a lot of compounds, and then more around graduation time, I started to slide more to the power building side. Kind of got acquainted with Jeff Nippard, and he blew my mind on what you could do. And then just kind of leading up to late last year, I was focusing more on just full-on powerlifting. Went to the guy who owns the gym that I go to currently and said, you know, having some difficulties with some of my lifts. My form wasn't that great on squats. I have like terrible mobility in my ankles and my hips, super tight. So I went to him just for some extra help with powerlifting, and he basically turned to me and said, I don't know if you've ever considered bodybuilding, but your genetics are top tier and I recommend it. So I've always thought about it. I've kind of put the powerlifting thing on pause, which is okay. I know with bodybuilding, you'll inherently you're growing those muscles over time. That strength will translate later on, even though it's probably going to take a huge dip for a bit. That's fine. I'm not too concerned. We'll get back to it. I'm just excited to try something new and jump into a space I've never really been in before. So yeah, coming in brand new to the bodybuilding space, coming brand new to a stage. Obviously, anyone that I've seen compete like on a personal level in my life, they're always either wellness or bikini. I didn't even know what the figure was. You know, you see like the pictures of the super buff ladies doing like the crazy posing routines, and at first I was like kind of panicking. I was like, oh my god, like I'm not at that level. I don't know if I want my body to look at that point, at that level of like leanness, musculature. Like there was something kind of freaked me out. But the way he described it to me is basically, if I were to do bikini or wellness, the way that I am built is like we would almost have to like atrophy some areas. I'd have to basically just be on a treadmill for the next 6 months trying to get some muscle down so I could be at the same level as what those girls are, what they're expecting in those categories. So yeah, we basically decided to have the healthiest, most successful prep possible. We're just gonna move figure, and we'll see how it goes. He's expecting great results. Yeah, I don't know if he's just trying to gas me up. But we'll see. That's what this is all for. Basically, right now we're starting a 4-month build. I did do a bit of like a bulk per se over, you know, December, January. I think at one point like my highest weight was sitting around like 166, 167 pounds. For reference, I'm like 5'4". It was quite the bulk over the winter, and I lost some of it recently. I'm going on a trip in March, so I kind of did like a baby cut before I decided to jump into bodybuilding. And I was sick recently, so lost some weight there. But we're just at the cusp, at the beginning of this like 4-month build. Things are gonna be about to get a little thick, a little fluffy. Totally okay with it. Been there, I don't mind. And then it'll be about a 2-month shred. He kind of gave me 2 options. He's like, you could do like a really rapid 3-month prep for this show. We'll get the results, but it's gonna be quick and it's gonna be sucky. Or you could do like a 6-month slow build, slow prep, take your time, let your body do what it needs to do. And I was like, you know, a 3-month at the end of the day sounds almost easier because you're doing all this in condensed time, but I don't want to be suffering and I want to do this the best way possible. So 6 months is where we're at. I want to see my body look insane. Like I used to do like little mini cuts to be like, oh, I want to see like what I built. I want to see if I could like look a little more, you know, lean and cut. They never really went anywhere because I never had like a specific goal to work towards. It was just kind of like cutting for the sake of like trying to get leaner. Yeah, I'm gonna give it all I have, try my hardest. I basically sent him an email at the beginning of this prep being like, even though it might suck and I might complain, you have all the right to tell me to suck it up and just fight through even if it sucks balls. So I am aiming for my first show to be this August. So that's where we're lightly aiming for. Basically, we're gonna go through this build, we're gonna see how it goes, and then we'll set the date during our build. And then that's when it'll kind of really kickstart when and how that 2-month shred is gonna come into play. So in terms of like where I'm at now, I'm currently doing like a 5-6 day split. Eventually we're gonna work in cardio. I'm trying to hold off like as long as possible because right now my body's doing great on what it's doing, and like who loves cardio? Obviously I am counting my macros, but we're not like super nitpicky. It's just making sure I'm eating enough. In the next little bit we'll tighten things up a bit more and just make sure, I'm assuming the numbers are probably going to increase a bit just because we really want to get this little bulk phase really going. So next steps for me, I got my heels, pretty pumped. I've only like put them on just to make sure they fit. I bought these off Facebook Marketplace. They were $45 Canadian. So I'm pretty pumped about that. That's the other thing with this prep. It's my first show. So I'm not here to like ball out. I'm not here to break the bank. For all I know, I might do this and go, I hate this and I never want to do it again. So why on earth am I going to spend, you know, brand new prices on every single thing? Obviously, probably gonna have to get the suit new. But yeah, things like shoes, like posing suit. I have that coming Friday. I bought that off Amazon. Like, I am not here to spend a bloody fortune the first round. If I fall in love and this turns into like a career of sorts, then I'm gonna make the investment. But for now, we're balling on a budget. Yeah, I think that's it. Nothing else really to report right now. I just wanted to share about me, who the hell I am, why we should care about this series. Yeah, let the fun begin. I'm gonna do a physique update. Again, I'm not posing, I'm not doing anything crazy, but we'll just kind of see where things are sitting, how things look. All right, here's my physique update. That'll be it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this first episode of documenting the debut, and things are just gonna get crazier from here, more to come, so stay tuned. Alright, thanks so much guys, see you later.